place, the effort of which, and I quote, pushed out about half a teacupful of the brain, which fell upon the floor. He didn't say what they did with it after. I'm picturing his dog just running.
Hey guys, alright. Back with another Salmonella video. This one on Improbable Tales of Survival. There's a lot of those in history. A lot of very lucky people throughout history, or at least the ones that get recorded. There are also lots of unlucky people. So let's go ahead and just dive right into what these Improbable Tales Salmonella has found for us. Let's see how fucked up they are, because they're probably fucked up, because it's salmonella.
Hey kids, the human spirit is a very powerful thing. With the right temperament, it can allow us to survive things you wouldn't believe. However, some people are stronger than
Fragile wimp, agile pimp. That's Michael Malloy, isn't it? Right? Yeah, Michael Malloy. I don't recognize this character. I recognize him, but I can't remember the name of the character or the guy.
than others. For example, I've never so much as broken a bone in my life. Haven't been hospitalized since that first time 20 years ago. So I'm like 90% certain if I'm ever forced to dance with death, my soul's pussying out to the great beyond first thing. On the other end of the spectrum, you got guys like Phineas Gage. Gage was a 25-year-old railroad worker in mid-19th century.
Oh, I think I know this one. Yes, I know this one. I know this one. I know this story. I've heard it before. I think I had to. This is in like my first year of college. Because obviously you have to fill out prerequisite classes, you know, gen ed classes when you're in college. And we watched this, I think, for a psychology class. I think it was psych. I think it was a psychology class. Dude gets fucking impaled by this spike here, and he loses like all of his memory, some shit. Like he loses everything, but he still lived. Like it got deep into his skull. It's crazy.
Century Vermont. He and his crew were busy gang blasting rock to prepare the road bed for a newly planned route. This involves a big hole being drilled into the ground, filled with gunpowder, and packed down using a tamping iron. Well, being the gentleman and scholar that he is, Gage decides to lean forward and look directly into the hole, right? Now, the first rule of gun safety is to never look down the front of a gun. Everyone knows that. Gage basically just turned the earth into a gun and decided to put his head right in front of its gaping barrel, and wouldn't you know it, the powder goes off. The tamping iron shoots up into his cheek, moseys right on through his frickin' brain, and goes soaring out the other side, landing 80 feet away, all smeared with blood and thought juice. Now by
Thought juice? Okay.
and large, Gage should have dropped dead immediately and been thrown into a ravine for his blatant disregard for OSHA regulations, and that would have been the end of it. But I guess Shiva Gautama Christ-chan, the one
Oh, fuck the Shiva Gautama Christ.
true god, decided Gage still had unfinished business down here on Shit Outta Luck 3, because after a few minutes of twitching on the ground, he got up, looked around, and thought, well, now's a good time as any for my yearly checkup. According to the doctor he went to, while Gage was retelling the story of what happened, he suddenly started vomiting all over the place, the effort of which, and I quote, pushed out about half a teacupful of the brain, which fell upon the floor. He didn't say what they did with it after. I'm picturing his dog just running over and immediately scarfing it down, then being plagued with the memories of a human railroad worker for the rest of his life. In the months following, Gage made a near complete recovery, physically anyway. He did lose a bit of his mind, which caused him to lose his mind a bit. Whereas Gage was once an upstanding, hardworking citizen, his untimely brain blast transformed him
Got a blast.
into an angry, incoherent drunkard, mumbling, quote, the grossest profanity whenever he deemed fit, and showing little to no regard for human life whatsoever. Naturally, he was fired from his job at the railroad, so Gage ended up wandering the earth, earning money any way he could. For a while, he hung out at Barnum's American Museum in New York City, basically making an exhibit of himself, standing there with a tamping iron like, hi, this went through my brain, bye. He later had a stint as a farmhand in California and a stagecoach driver in Chile. silly, which I don't know who let the guy with severe brain trauma and no depth perception drive a vehicle, but whatever. Over
Yeah.
time, he actually became a lot more functional until finally, 10 years later, when his brain remembered, oh yeah, I shouldn't exist, leading to Gage having a bunch of seizures and dying at age 36. A similar story
No
happened with
way.
one Ron Hunt in 2003. He was an American
2003. Shit, this is gonna be
construction
recent.
worker who was drilling a hole above his head when the ladder he was standing on decided to give way, leading to Hunt landing face first on a 1.5-inch auger drill bit. The drill went straight through his left eye and out the back of his skull. To give you a reference of what 1.5 inches of drill looks like, here's the actual x-ray that doctors took when Hunt arrived at the hospital.
No.
Miraculously, the drill ended up just kind of pushing his brain out of the way, leading to no cognitive impairment whatsoever. Matter of fact, Hunt was perfectly lucid while the doctors tried to figure out the best way to take the thing out of his head. Initially, they considered cutting it out, but that would have been too messy. So eventually they decided to literally just unscrew it from his head, like, alright, hold him still now. Oh, you fucking MILF. Lefty loosey. Does that mean the top or the bottom? What? It's a rotating circle. And, okay, you hold on for 1 sec. Look, one way the top goes left, one way the bottom. So which? Clearly the one on top. Why? Tell me why. Why clearly? Same reason north is up on the map. It's just common practice. Alright, well, sorry for not subscribing to your Eurocentric propaganda, Dan, you soggy cunt. Anyway, what were we doing? If you think Hunt was just a little too lucky with his incident, don't worry. According to Snopes, he was self-employed and didn't have insurance. So while the accident didn't ruin his life, you can sleep easy knowing that hundreds of thousands of dollars of medical bills and rehabilitation costs probably did. Our next tale revolves around Greg.
That's depressing.
Greg Rasmussen, a British-born animal conservationist who was studying wildlife in Zimbabwe. One day, he got reports of a highly endangered rhino being spotted in the area, so Greg took to the skies in a single-passenger plane to track the beast. Fate was looking down at Greg that day, and after a moment, it said, "No, rhino must die." And a huge gust of wind came out of nowhere, sending Greg into a tailspin, crash landing right in the middle of the untamed African bush. When Greg woke up, he found that his legs looked like used up tubes of toothpaste, so he was essentially trapped right where he was. Arguably worse than that was the fact that Greg was dehydrated before he even took off, hoping to get water at his destination. And just when things looked like they couldn't get any worse, they got worse. A group of elephants showed up and started harassing and straight up stampeding at Greg. With no other option, he starts banging on the wreckage as hard as he could. The elephants went, "Ha!" and decided to leave.
That noise. Ah. I gotta watch it again.
With no other option, he starts banging on the wreckage as hard as he could. The elephants went, "Ha!" and decided to
I'm so easily entertained.
to leave him alone. He was also approached by a pack of hyenas and actual lionesses on the hunt. But fortunately, animals are all morons, so the same trick worked on them too. Greg spent an entire day and night pinned under the wreckage, fighting off wildlife, severe dehydration, and extreme temperatures before finally being rescued the next morning. Incredibly, after over 100 operations, doctors managed to get Greggy's leggies up and running again. Although he was now 3 inches shorter, which is probably for the best, because now they can just stick the keys to the plane on top of the fridge so he never has another incident like this again. So moral of the story, us humans are resilient creatures who will do anything in our power to survive. And just as Greg Rasmussen banged on his destroyed plane to ward off predators in Zimbabwe, you should bang on your keyboard right now to ward off
Ooh, that is a sneaky advertisement right there. Sneaky sponsorship. I love it. Very smart. I don't know what to add. That first one is such a crazy story. Cause yeah, he should have fucking died. Honestly, I think Rasmussen here should have died too. Actually, you know what? All three of them should have fucking died. Which I guess is the point of this, because it's, you know, improbable tales of survival. But goddamn. I hope you guys enjoyed. I got grossed out. Remember to leave a suggestion down below for which you want to see me react to next. I know this wasn't exactly history related, but it kind of was, because it had a dude from like the late 1800s or early 1900s, whenever that first guy was around. So it kind of is. But yeah, I kind of thinking there'd be more older stories, not two of them that were fairly modern. But hey, still enjoyable. I hope you guys enjoyed as well, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you.